Welcome to Sun City News. I'm your host, Norma Taylor. We're starting our new show with these stories. Reporter Chris Chase checked out the model railroaders at the workshop. And later in the show, Bob Grando fills us in on the upcoming events at the La Dolce Vita Italian-American Group. Sun City News starts now.
This is Sun City News. With our news team bringing you stories from Sun City and the Low Country. Taking the lead with entertainment news. And on deck is our sports report. Sun City News, from people you know, about people you know. This week's SCTV News starts now.
Come watch the model railroaders at the woodshop. Reporter Chris Chase took a tour of the outside and the inside model trains. See why it is a must to see in Sun City.
Clyde, this is a fantastic place. I mean, you could spend an hour in here just looking at all the details. And I've heard you've remodeled a lot.
Well, this is the fourth layout that's been built in this room since the building was put up. The first layout was in 2002, which was, the building was just framework. Mm-hmm. And the guys at that time wanted to do a layout. They gave us the room and we framed it all out and started in the first layout. This one started in 2017. We decided we wanted to build something, and we had a perfectly good running and finished third layout in here. And so, but we would have had to tear down something to build something new. So we said, well, let's tear the whole thing down, start from scratch, and really be new. And that's what we did. In 2017, we shut it down and inventoried and stored everything away. And then we gutted this room, floor to ceiling, wall to wall. There was nothing in here. And then about 6 months after that, we were doing some planning, and we started building. This is what we got so far this time. And it's coming. We're redoing a section. This whole first level on this side is all been rebuilt, and it's now a real working switching yard.
Now, there's a lot of pieces to this. How do you get all the pieces to especially redo it?
A lot of glue. No, all this stuff is 99% of it are kits, or all the cars and everything. You just buy them that way. It used to be you built them, but now you just buy the car the way it looks. And then you think about, well, like Doug put all this together, and it's for switching. We'll actually build trains in here to take out and drive on to the layout. And that's what he's doing right now, is he's collecting cars to make a train that will be pulled around the layout. We have 3 levels that we run on. There's 1 train on each level running continuously. And they don't run into each other because each level is separate unless I don't want it to be separate. Then I can take the train that's on the first level, put it on the second or the third, or so on, down by switching some switches and making the train change levels.
Well, this is amazing too, with all the little pieces that you have. Where do they come from?
Well, the ones we have, not majority of them, have been donated by people that live in Sun City, members that have unfortunately can't do it anymore for one or another reason. But you can still buy all this stuff. This is not a dead hobby yet.
Oh,
you can buy. There's so much available. You can just go crazy.
Are you planning anything new and exciting coming up?
Well, we got several things going. This is still needs work scenery wise. Down at the end here, we're doing, which is a mess, and I hate to show you, but that's where there's going to be a turntable and a roundhouse and steam facilities, a water tower, coal tower, sand pit, all this kind of stuff, all down in that area right there.
Bert, now the last time I was here, it wasn't anywhere near this
We
expansive.
keep on adding all the time. I mean, the pond is new. I like right here, this train coming up to the depot. We'll stop there, and it shuts down now. Like it's unloading the passengers and loading new people on. Bob did that, and I didn't even realize it was going to happen. And then when it gets ready to start up, you see the light come on, and you hear the engine, the coal being shoveled in the engine.
This is so realistic.
Yeah, it's great. The church bell, they're getting married, and then I get to be very bad because I have the cemetery there, but in front of the cemetery, the hearse with the coffin. And I say the father got the wedding bill and had a heart attack. Over here, I've got the movie theater. Then I have and then you've got the hotel, the post office, the police station, and then the smoke shop with the Indian in front of the smoke shop.
Still more news to come. Georgia Lash attended the recent Meet the Author event. Diane Curley revisits the Stillwater Spa to talk about meditation. And Chris Chase gives you information on the upcoming Wreaths Across America. So don't go anywhere.
Looking for a book that begs to be read? Look no further. Each month, our Lifestyles Department hosts an author to appear at the Meet the Author event. Now, these events are free and they're scheduled at 6 p.m. on a varying date basis. Now, at each of these events, I'm lucky enough to sit down with the featured author to learn the backstory of their story. The interview is added to excerpts of the author's presentation and recapped for you as our SCTV Meet the Author monthly show. On cable, you can view Meet the Author show 5 times daily, or log into our Sun City YouTube channel to view Meet the Author at your convenience. Tune in and open a new chapter in your literary pursuits.
At the recent Meet the Author, retired Major General John Hussey gives us a history lesson on military detainment. Reporter Georgia Lash spoke with him about his experiences, which led to his writing the book, Inside the Wire.
John, welcome back.
Well, it's so good to be back, as always.
Now we're here to talk about Inside the Wire. So how would you summarize that fabulous, commentary that you've put together for us to prospective readers?
Well, I would tell them that there's a part of history that they just have a kind of like the tip of the iceberg that they see and understand, probably a lot of them through Guantanamo Bay and Abu Ghraib, and don't really understand all the mechanisms behind it. So I wrote it for a couple of reasons, mainly for the next generation. Because some unfortunate soul, because it's going to happen again. I mean, here we're in a crisis as we speak with Iran, and we just don't know how that situation may turn out. So somebody's going to get tasked with this mission again, and it's important that they pick up the book because there's not a lot written on it. When I go back and I was doing my research, there may be some reports, but the last book written was called Mutiny at Kojido, which was about the Korean War. And so there's not a lot out there. So I wrote about my experiences, what went right, some of the controversies I had, and what my suggestions are. But at the end, there's about 50 tidbits. And I put that out to some of the leaders that have walked the same dirt as I have in different parts of the camp, all the way up to General Quantock, who was the commander of what's called Task Force 134. He was there at Abu Ghraib when the scandal broke, and he took over all the way out to what's called Command Sergeant Majors, and they gave me some great input. So the next generation, just pick up the book. If you read those 50 tidbits in the last chapter, at least you have a better start than I did going into the mission.
Now, what prompted you to actually put all of those experiences into words? Because there is so much detail in this book that it almost reads to me like you had a running diary of what was going on, because it is so thorough.
Well, we went through a lot. And, I spend a lot of time in the book on Abu Ghraib because we spent 14 months, prepping up and then going there about a year in Iraq. And it was extremely challenging after the scandal. God blessed me with a fabulous staff, but then again, I just met that staff at Fort Dick, so I didn't have a lot. It's like going to play in the World Series and, hey, here's your starting lineup, and get to know each other in the locker room and hit the field. So, but I was blessed, and all of those individuals basically did very well in their careers. They moved on and performed magnificently. So I was blessed in that sense. And then I had good leadership. General Brandenburg, South Carolina resident, went to the Citadel, passed away. He was great, came back, and when we did what was known as the DOT, the Detainee Operations Training Event, he came back as one of my guest speakers. I had a Colonel Brown and CSM Shelley, and then again, my battle buddy, who a lot of people said the book should have been named after, was Mike Donahue. They said it should have been Inside Donahue, but just good people around me. But it also teaches about leadership, the willingness to listen, because, that might have been one of my struggles as a young officer. Sometimes you think you know it all like a teenager, but, listening to people and getting different input is not a bad thing. And the input people give you is their trust and credibility, because, after a while, there's only certain people you're going to go to because, hey, she's been right a lot more than he's been right. So, and you'll take those people and build off their concepts and ideas as well.
A few weeks ago, our reporter Diane Curley visited Spanish Moss Hall on the west side of Sun City and spoke to one of the practitioners at the Stillwater Spa to learn about their many services. This week, Diane takes on the subject of meditation that is offered. Let's listen.
Hi, we're back at the Stillwater Spa with Madge Hamilton, a practitioner, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about guided meditation.
So guided meditation, you're laying on the table as with all of the other therapies that I do. And depending on what's going on with you, I can do a guided meditation to rebalance your chakras. So there are 7 chakras in your system, and they are energy balls that are hanging off of your spinal cord. And I'll play a bowl. This is the solar plexus bowl. And I'll do that for each one of the chakras to rebalance you, close out the chakras, and then end the session.
And what's the guided meditation part? What's
the guided meditation? I'm speaking as I'm playing these bowls. And I'm giving there's a script that I use that is specific for each chakra.
Beautiful. And is this a separate service that from, say, what we talked about in an earlier show, which was vibrational therapies?
Yes, it is. It's a separate service that I offer. So I offer vibrational therapies, I offer the sound therapies, and I do guided meditation with sound or just guided meditation. And I also provide Reiki services, and I can do Reiki and sound. It just depends on what the person wants.
So it's very customized.
It's very
to the
customized,
individual.
yes.
Yeah,
very
wonderful.
customized.
I heard this can be good for certain medical conditions, not to replace medical care, but I think I've heard about like Parkinson's. And can you explain a little bit more?
Yeah, so part of with Parkinson's, people get very anxious. And I do have a guided meditation that is specific for Parkinson's that allows people to have a deep rest and reset as part of a therapy. And definitely they should still seek medical treatment, but this is an alternative that can help them and help relax them.
What other, besides Parkinson's, because I know there's a lot in the community in Sun City that could benefit from this. So who else might be a good candidate for?
So if you have tinnitus, if you have sinus headaches, so with a vibrational therapy, I can put a tuning fork on the sinus cavities and come down to your lymphatic system and help drain that sinus issue.
So
and
if
that's something
people wanted
else.
to know more about this, because I can understand there's a lot of different therapies for a lot of different, and you're a practitioner in all of them, which is wonderful to have this service here at Sun City. I'm so happy about it. If people wanted to know more about the different therapies that were offered and the costs and how to make an appointment, how would they get in touch with you?
So they would call my phone number, my cell number, or they'd also go on site, on my website, and look and see, get more information about what I'm offering. And then also they can call the spa and set up an appointment.
And does the spa have like a list of the services?
Yes, the spa has a list of the services. And also, when I'm speaking with each person, I'll provide them the list, and we'll work together to see what they would like to have.
What the modality that would serve them best.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love it. I love all the hands-on about it.
Yes.
Thanks, Madge. It's great seeing you again.
Thank you, Diane. I appreciate it.
One of our heartwarming annual events is the Wreaths Across America. Chris Chase gives us a little information on the mission.
We've all heard about Wreaths Across America, and it's all dear to our hearts, I know. We love and we appreciate our veterans, and Wreaths Across America is an excellent way to express that. Well, the Wreaths Across America annual wreath-laying mission calls us to remember the fallen, honor those who are served, and to teach the next generation the value of freedom. Wreaths Across America has given back nearly $32 million in local contributions through this national program over the last 19 years. This National Wreath Across America Day will be held on Saturday, December 19th. Each $17 sponsorship supports Wreaths Across America's year-round commitment and the many fee programs designed to share its mission with communities nationwide. In addition, a live balsam wreath will be placed in remembrance on the headstone of our American heroes. Wreaths Across America is a 501c nonprofit organization founded to continue and expand the annual wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington's National Cemetery. Begun by Maine businessman Morrill Worcester in 1992, the organization's year-long mission, Remember, Honor, Teach, is carried out in part each year by coordinating the wreath-laying ceremonies in December at Arlington, as well as thousands of veteran cemeteries and other locations in all 50 states and beyond. Since 2017, Sun City Hilton Head neighborhoods have supported Wreaths Across America by sponsoring wreaths for veterans interred at Beaufort National Cemetery. Thanks to the generosity of our community, we placed 7,931 wreaths in 2025, honoring approximately 25% of the veterans laid to rest there. Sun City Hilton Head's contributions were 12th in the nation last year. Our 2006 campaign begins with meeting on September 10th in the Spanish Moss Hall on the west side from 3 to 5. If you would like to honor our nation's heroes by volunteering, please join us. Contact us with the information below. And when you go to place the wreaths, there is a ceremony. You put the red ribbon, goes at 12 o'clock, stand back, and say the name on the grave. It may be the only time their name is settled.
Still much more ahead on Sun City News. Randy Selman's here with an entertainment report. We find out about upcoming events at the La Dolce Vita Italian-American group. And Jojo Hines has a sports report. So don't go away.
Sun City TV invites you to join our crew. Our growing technology presence requires enthusiastic, creative volunteers. No previous TV experience needed. Email us at suncitytvhh@gmail.com.
Randy Selman sits down with Bob Adams, the director of the Sun City Theater's production of Clue. Let's watch.
Welcome to SCTV, Bob.
Thank you, Randy. It's always good to be here.
So many of us remember and have played the game Clue. However, we might not have seen Clue on the stage. Tell us a little bit about the play.
Sure. Well, in the game, the whole object is to find out who killed Mr. Body. in the play, it starts a little before that and gets developed. The guests have been invited to a dinner party with Mr. Body because they're all being blackmailed. It takes place during the McCarthy scare, so they all have something they want to keep a secret. And so when Body gets killed, as in the game, they do need to find out who did it. But that's not the end of the murders. They start piling up and things get really out of hand. It's a lot of fun.
Well, to base a character on a board game with only their names and pictures to go by, how did you guide your cast to encompass that character? And tell us a little bit about those characters.
Well, sure. Well, you know, when you see just a picture and a name, you kind of get a stereotype in mind. But with a play, and you start putting words into the actors' mouths, and people talk about themselves and other people talk about them, you begin to learn pretty quickly a lot about these characters. So we have that to go on. And then I told them, I said, the key to this is that you have to, as your character, you have to believe that all of this is real. You don't know you're in a comedy, but the audience is going to love watching what you do, thinking all of it is real. And that's really the key to farce, really.
I understand there's a lot of physical comedy in this show. How did you handle the physicality of it all?
Yeah, you know, I was concerned about that going in. How much would my actors be able to do, you know, physically? Because there's a lot of running around. There's a few murders in the show, so, you know, could we even fall down and play dead, you know? But they've embraced it. They've been really good and very enthusiastic about it. The sight gags are working well. That's another part of physical comedy, you know, with this. So it's actually been a very pleasant surprise how well they've handled it and jumped into it.
Oh, that's great. Well, with any comedy, there has to be perfect timing. And I think that's the hardest part about directing a farce. And such a diverse cast on top of all that. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. A farce is challenging. It's like a lot of things. If you can make it look easy and natural, then you're doing a good job. The timing has to be brisk and just right. And I mentioned sight gags a moment ago, but you know, you got to put those pauses in just the right place and keep it moving and build momentum in just the right place. So yeah, it's very challenging, but we're getting pretty good at it.
I think it's gonna be great. Well, thank you so much for taking time to be here. And you're going to knock them dead with your play, Clue. I'm Randy Selman, and that's your entertainment report. Remember, life is entertaining, so here's a clue for you. Don't miss the show, especially Clue.
Cameraman Bob Grando filmed a segment featuring the president and vice president of the La Dolce Vita Italian-American group. John Lombino and Penny First fill us in on upcoming events of this fun group. Let's watch.
Hi, I'm John Lombino with La Dolce Vita Group in Sun City, and with me is Penny.
Hi, I'm Penny First. John's our president, I'm our vice president, and we are here to tell you a little bit more about our group and some upcoming events. La Dolce Vita is a group of fun folks, and we meet 6 times a year. Our gatherings are our social events and meetings, and we eat, we mingle, we dance, we listen to music, and most of all, have fun. Our mission is to bring people of all nationalities together to learn more about Italian American heritage and enjoy our social events.
Well, I'd like to give you some information about our trip to Sicily that's coming up in March of 27. We're having an informational meeting September 3rd at 1 o'clock in Pinckney Hall. So if you would like to attend, if you're a member or if you're not a member, please come and you can get all the information. Our travel agent will be here and she will answer any questions about the trip, the airfare, anything about the trip. So if you're interested, because we're going to open it up to members and friends.
That sounds great. I have never been to Sicily, so I will enjoy learning more about this trip. Thanks, John.
Okay, yeah.
So here's what we got coming up next as far as events. September 6th at the Pavilion, our theme is Love and Demia, which is the Italian wine grape harvest that we will be celebrating with a wonderful, beautiful Italian buffet and music by Armand DeMille, which will keep us dancing.
And also remember, Club Fair is coming up, and we will have our booth open to have any information about the club and the trip at the Club Fair booth. So please stop by and renew your membership or join or just ask any questions about our group.
There's an announcement that I'd like to make about a project that's been going on for quite a few months. It was pretty neat projects that our committee members had put together, an online Italian cookbook. And this cookbook is compiled from recipes submitted by our members. Some of them are from generations ago, and some of them are regional Italian specialties. And we publish this cookbook online. You can reach it on the Sun City website under the groups. If you go to our group, La Dolce Vita, it's underneath the documents. You can find it there.
And also I'd like to tell you about our annual Christmas party coming up December 6th. It's a great event, and we have Target, the band. You know, many of you have heard them. They've been here in Sun City playing for all of Sun City folks. So that's our event for December, and it sells out fast. So if you're interested in going, please sign up when we send out the notice.
It's my favorite event of the year. I love getting the Christmas gala.
Yeah,
It's so festive. It's great.
Sitting in for Mike Romano is Jojo Hines with Sports News.
Hello, sports fans. We start this week's report with news from the Bocce Club. The fall season will begin on Sunday, September 13th, and end on November 21st. Tournament qualifying will begin on November 16th and conclude with the championship rounds on Saturday, November 21st. The picnic will follow the championship. In addition, club elections officers will be held in September. If you are interested in running for one of the Bocce Club positions, contact Maureen Ganley at mganley21@gmail.com. The Men's Golf Association reported 2 hole-in-ones for the month of July, both posted at Argent Lakes. First call Pastiglione aced number 8. Then 3 days later, Paul Sursi scored his hole-in-one on number 3. Congratulations to both golfers. In other MGA news, the 2-man member scramble is down to the final 4. The semifinal round will be held this week. Recent closest to the pin winners in the Couples League are scored at Okatee Creek were Joe Roberts and Marie Petty. The winning team in the 2-person scramble was Nancy Miller and Mike Prosanti, with a net 1 under par. Finally, in golf news, the Sun City Club Championship will be held on September 9th and 10th at Okatee Creek and Hidden Cypress golf courses, respectively. The Club Championship is the most prestigious tournament of the year. Baseball Hall of Famer George Brett once said, "There's nothing like opening day. There's nothing like the start of a new season." And so it is the same here in Sun City as we prepare for all the pomp and pageantry of the Softball League's opening day for the fall 2026 season. Now mark your calendar for Saturday, August 29th. All of the festivities start at 8:30 a.m. with the color guard presentation and the singing of the national anthem by Tim Russell. Bob Hudson will throw out the first pitch and the home plate umpire will yell, "Play ball." As an added bonus, the first 500 sandwiches are free. See you at Veterans Memorial Park. Well, that's it for sports. Remember to stay hydrated and be cautious on these hot days. It's now time to get outside and have some fun. For Sun City Sports, I'm JoJo Hines.
That's our show for this week. Thank you for watching. Catch us on cable on our YouTube station, where we invite you to click like and subscribe. To see expanded coverage of some of our SCTV stories, tune into our monthly show, Extra. And if you have questions and comments, email us at suncitytvhh@gmail.com. But make sure you check in with us next week for all the news that's happening in our community. For Sun City News, I'm Norma Taylor.